Yeah, welcome, football lovers. Welcome to the FootyWit podcast. EPL Game Week 11 review. My name is Ahis Anthony. And most of you are looking like, hey, is this guy lonely on today's episode? No, I'm not alone on this episode. We're here to talk about football. We're here to talk about the Game Week 11 review, the games that went down. And I will just, stylishly bring in my co-podcasters, the regular, you know them. Samiat, hi.
Hi guys. Hi guys. Good to be
Samiat
back
is
again.
she's a Manchester United fan on the podcast. And also the third wolf of the wolf pack, Chimamaka,
Hello, guys.
Chelsea fan.
It's good to be back.
Yes, it's good to be. I know you guys are seeing me all smiling, but deep inside, I'm not happy, man. I'm not. Because you know the team that I support, Arsenal. Arsenal is not making us happy at this time. We're really sad. But today's episode will be focusing on Arsenal's performances in this past few weeks, the past few games that have gone. Arsenal have lost. They've lost 5 and drawn 1. The last 6 Arsenal games, they've lost 5, drawn 1. Lost to Leicester City, lost to Aston Villa, lost to Wolves. No, drew to Leeds, lost to Wolves, and lost to Tottenham yesterday. I think I missed one game. I've missed one game out. But for the past 6 games, they've only out of 11 games, they've won 4. Drawn 1-4. Lost how many? 4. Then drawn 1. 11. That's 11, right?
That's
that
9.
calculation. That's 9.
They've won 4. I think they've won 4, drawn 3.
They've drawn 4. No, they've drawn 4. They've won 4, drawn 1.
Drawn 1.
That was against Leeds. Yep. That was against Leeds.
5. They've lost 6. That's what it means.
You know what? Just to sort this whole thing out, we just have to. Don't worry, we just check the tape.
It's been a terrible run for Arsenal. To cut the long story short.
To cut the long story short, it is. It has been a terrible run. So I'm looking for Arsenal. Arsenal is down below. Yes, they've won 4. Wow, they've lost 6. They've lost 6 and drawn 1. They've lost to Manchester City, lost to Leicester City, lost to Liverpool, lost to Wolves, lost to Aston Villa, and also lost to Tottenham. But it's so sad. Yeah, so sad. So sad. So we welcome our viewers once again to FootyWit podcast, the EPL Game Week 11 review. So we'll be looking at the game. So we just look at straight up the games that went down during the week. It started on Saturday. The game that was supposed to happen on Friday, Aston Villa versus Newcastle United, was postponed due to coronavirus. I think some of the players were infected, so they just had to. I think 70% of Newcastle United, if I'm wrong.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm right. 70% of Newcastle United were all infected. And yeah, it's great for the fans. The fans are back into the stadium. You know, it was a good one for Liverpool, winning in front of their fans. It was also a good one for Tottenham in front of their fans, winning their rivals and going top of the EPL. Crazy. So we start Chelsea against Leeds United 3-1. West Ham United against Manchester United, lost at home to Manchester at London Stadium. Manchester City continued their impressive run without conceding 2-0 over Fulham, and Burnley 1-1 against Everton at home. Now, West Brom lost heavily to Crystal Palace at home 5-1. Sheffield United lost as well at home to Leicester City. You know, I predicted a draw for that game, and Jamie Vardy had to come last minute to get that winner for Leicester City. Tottenham Hotspur won Arsenal 2-0 London Derby, and Liverpool 4-0 against Wolverhampton Wanderers. We all got our monies right on that prediction. I think I predicted a win. Someone predicted Wolves win on our WhatsApp group. I think that's Samiat.
Huh?
No, it wasn't.
I don't. Samiat or Tunde.
Maybe.
So guys, quickly, we'll just look at the results I just mentioned. We just pick some of the games, the big teams, just talk slightly about it, and we go into the main discussion of today, which is Arsenal. What has happening to the Arsenal? What is happening to the red side of North London? Chimamaka, you're smiling. Samia, take us home. Start with the results you just mentioned or reeled out.
Yeah, I think the game week started with Man City, Fulham.
Yeah.
I think, Man City Fulham. So yeah, it was pretty much Man City gaining back control and all of that. We saw Guardiola go on with his team rotation and the player performance in Man City. Man City can never predict what will happen with them. Mahrez was scoring an hat-trick last week and he was just silent during these matches. I don't know, that's the kind of wave I get from Man City, but it was solid performance. I think they are getting back control of their game and yeah, solid performance from them. What match followed? I can't remember the match that followed. The Manchester United
I
match.
think Burnley. It started with Burnley Everton, then
Okay.
Manchester
That was
United, Fulham. Yeah,
Burnley
that was a
Everton
draw.
was a draw. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Man City Fulham. West Ham, Manchester United. Manchester United they have curated a pattern of coming back from behind to come and win. But like we discussed in the WhatsApp group, this is not a sensible tactic that is going to work for Manchester United. They need a solid tactic. We have the players. I think we have the quality on that team to make things happen first half, to seal a win and just bring up a solid performance. So it does not make sense having to wait till second half to now bring out the magic. It's like there was this comment that was made about that Manchester United way of play. Ole capitalized on the other team being tired, and he just capitalized on his fast attack. So he's waiting for the other team's defense to be tired. Then he sends Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, and the likes to just speed up and just that's not a game tactics that would work or carry us long. He only has to just come up with some tactics, and because that's what we are lacking basically in that Manchester United team.
Well,
Tactics,
I target a second half revival. We're always coming. Manchester United is always coming through in the second half.
It has worked. Like during Fergie, we know during Fergie there has always been the 9 minutes comeback and all of that. Fergie has mastered something like that. But Ole is not in control of that team. He cannot just chill and say he wants to come back from second half in every game. I mean, he has worked against few teams, but I don't think that will work against a solid team. We face a Man City team next week now. We're facing Manchester City next week now, and he wants to do that kind of thing next week. It is not going to work. It's not going to work at all. So it's not a game plan that Ole needs to just get. I think he has all the manpower he needs in his possession. There's Teles now. Yeah, there's options. There's Teles now. Wan-Bissaka is solid. Maybe a little bit of he needs to make a firm selection in the defense. But still, there are options that you can rotate around. You can't just wait till defenders are tired, then you send in Rashford to speed up and perform magic. That's not a game plan that will carry us along. It's not going to work. But it was still a pretty good win, and it's good to just see the team spirit. And basically, even the match, let's just say it was Bruno Fernandes that just came in, and so he comes to tell you
Fernandes.
Yeah, he comes to tell you how well the team is built around him. If there is no Bruno Fernandes, does that mean that there is no win for Man U, or we are not going to have a solid performance? It does question Ole's coaching skills and all of that. It does put it to question. And then moving on to Leicester match, I knew they were going to just take that home. Then the North London derby. Liverpool.
We're going to get there. Don't worry. Yeah.
Liverpool match. It was just pretty much. I was expecting a bit of a fair fight, but Liverpool came all in and they did what they do best, and it was beautiful. And Chelsea had a beautiful match. I thought maybe Leeds were going to have. I think I predicted a draw for that match. I thought they were going to just give us a bit of the Leeds magic, and we could see like the first 10 minutes of the game, you could see that fast-paced lead. We all know the game was just so fast, so entertaining. It was just Leeds and Chelsea going back, and Bamford got the goal, but they couldn't hold it in and all of that. But Chelsea, solid performance from Chelsea too. Solid performance. Mendy finally getting a taste of what he's still going to get plenty of. It's nice to see him concede. It's nice, but the defense line in Chelsea team is pretty solid. They have it in check. They have it in check, and hopefully it keeps working for them.
So Chimamaka,
okay.
Let Chimamaka just run us through.
We'll save the best for the last.
Yeah, Chimamaka, just run us through all the results.
Results. I will start with the Manchester City game, which was actually very good, I would say. Guardiola came out tactically in that match, but I realized something, just not with Guardiola this time, but with Scott Parker as the Fulham manager. He came, he actually addressed the situations that we are lacking in the first half and the second half, but before then, the damage had been done. At the 4th minute, when Raheem Sterling picked up the goal, it weakened the already, as this is a Fulham team that is already building on their confidence, because in the past few games, they've actually nicked wins, which built the confidence of the team. So that confidence was shattered at the 4th minute when Raheem Sterling came and nicked in the goal. But it became worse at the end of the first half, before when Kevin De Bruyne scored the penalty. But in the second half, what the positive I pick from that game is what Scott Parker is actually trying to build with the Fulham squad. What went wrong in the first half was actually contained in the second half. Tactically, he had to do some changes, some player positional change, which brought about containing. Like in that game, you talked about Mahrez, who was firing on all cylinders last 2 weeks. He was put in check. These are things these are the positives you get from a team that is trying to build a standard for themselves. Fulham is actually doing that, but credit to Guardiola, he got that right this time. They are actually cruising. We are all looking at the Chelsea, the Tottenham, but we are actually closing our eyes to Manchester City and forgetting that they have so much damage to do to teams in the EPL. It was a solid performance by them, and it was enjoyable to watch. Now, I will also look into the Manchester United game. In the first half, I'm tired of talking about Ole or talking back and forth on Ole's issue. Ole needs to address himself. The issue is no longer the squad any longer, because Manchester United as a football club and as a team have a team that will do damage to any squad who decides to turn or look down on them. They have that capability to do that. But now, where they have a problem is fitting in those players to start winning the games from the first half. Now, that is Ole's problem. He doesn't know how to manage or he doesn't know how to assemble a winning team that starts doing the damage from the first half. He waits for the second half.
I think what he's struggling with is just to get that balance, of that right balance to be able to start from the very first minute of the game up to the 90th minute. I think that is what he's struggling with at the moment.
If he's fighting with a balance, this is already in 2 years in Manchester United. If he's still at this time.
No, I'm talking about this season. I'm talking about this season.
I'm just saying no. In the past 11 games, all I'm trying to say is if Ole has spent over a year and is still trying to find a balance in a team where they just brought in 3 players this season and is still trying to find a balance, then there's a problem. This season, Manchester United just brought in Alex Telles, they brought in Johnny van der Beek, and they brought in who again? Edison Cavani. These are the only players that they brought in this season. So I don't think he should be finding it or having a problem. Yes, we will say Bruno Fernandes came in January. This is already a year. If you look at it, looking at January, we have January in less than 30 days from now. So if you are still struggling to bring about a balance in such a team, it's such a formidable team, then there's a problem with the manager. Now, the last game we saw what happened when he lets his best player in the past 12 months sit on the bench. When you know you built your team around the player. Now you started conceding a goal. You considered a goal in the first half. Luckily for Manchester United, the firepower.
Yeah,
exactly. Now let's imagine in the first half, West Ham we are leading 3-0. Are they going to tell me that they will come back to nick a 3-3 win? Is it possible? With what he played in that game, yes, the second half was outstanding. I won't rule that out. I saw a Paul Pogba who started and jogged around the pitch and enjoyed his football for the first time this season. I saw Paul Pogba enjoy his football this season. Now they came in, they got the equalizer, they got the second by Mason Greenwood. Then the third one came in. It is not in every game you see a comeback. They've had comebacks in the past 2 to 3 games, I guess, and it's looking like, it's giving every Manchester United fan confidence that if they go down by 1 or 2 goals, they can come back to come and make a win. It's not going to happen every time.
I don't think any. I speak for myself. It does not give me any sort of confidence. It makes me scared because I know Ole does not have the tactical power to keep that up. It makes me scared. It does not give me any sort. It just shows that he's not in control. It makes me scared. I'm not confident about that.
But don't you guys think? Sorry to just cut you. Don't you guys think it is one of the strengths that Ole has to be able to read the game after 45 or 50, 60 minutes, make certain changes, and the next thing, the game turns around into his favor, and it comes from
it will not always work that way. It will not always work that way.
I just think you should give him that credit as well. Give him that credit. I just will give him that credit. You guys should give him that credit.
Listen, I would understand what you're trying to say. The credit is going to be given when it's actually due. But now you wouldn't do that. Even if you are gambling, even if you're going to be gambling, that's how you're going to gamble smartly. You don't play such kind of games. He's very lucky because the team is actually playing. Okay, now we have the next match Manchester United will be playing against Manchester City. Please, Man United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
It's a derby. It's a derby. Form goes out of the window. Anything can happen in a derby, man.
In such kind of game.
But this kind of formula is using would not work in that situation. It's not going to work. You think the Manchester City would allow Ole to just it wouldn't even work.
If Ole
it's a derby, anything can happen. Goals come in and all of that. That formula, that game plan will not work.
Manchester City is a solid team. If Manchester City should win you, should be beating you 3-0 at first half, do you expect to come and nick a 3-3 at second half? That's the reality we should start getting ourselves to. You cannot keep on doing this. Yeah, you say, does he have to be on the losing side before he can tactically make a decision? That's the question you should be asking. It shouldn't be. Now, if Manchester is running short 2 players on the pitch, what does he think about? These are circumstances wherein you have to fast with your thinking. I wouldn't give I'll say Arteta lost the game against Tottenham, but that is somebody who thinks tactically, fast on the pitch. He makes that decision there and there. It's not until you start losing before you start.
Exactly. How you even know Ole is not? He does not read the game or anything like that. The game against PSG. Look at Fred. Yeah. Look at the way he was playing. Just look at that scenario alone. Everybody knows. He's going to get a red card. Everybody knows. Just change him. He does not read any games. Don't tell Ole reads games.
Guys, right now, I'm going to switch whatever Ole is doing in Manchester United. Hold on, I'm going to switch what Ole is doing with Manchester United. I'm going to switch it to Arsenal. Only if Arsenal can be coming from a goal behind and coming to win the games. I really don't mind at this time, at this juncture. Do you understand? Because really,
I get it.
3 points is what matters, regardless of how, if you started the game well, it is not how you start. Yes, I understand the point you guys are coming from. What if you're playing with a more clinical team that it will be very difficult for you to, equalize and even come from behind to win the game, i.e. Manchester City. But we know in football, anything can happen. And again, as regards this topsy-turvy season that everybody is getting is beaten from anybody, who knows? Who knows? But for me, I like to look at things differently. I'm going to give him credit because it's a strength that he has, and he should continue with that. Because, that was what Alex Ferguson as well was doing at that time during his own era. Remember games at that 2013? No, the season before the last season, Manchester United won the Premiership, which is 2011, 2012, I guess. Before the last title in 2013 that Van Persie won, that Ryan Giggs played. There were games Manchester United will be trailing for the entire 80-something minutes. One or two changes. You look at at times they'll be following. You will not watch Manchester United. I don't watch Manchester United game sometimes, but I'll be following it on live scores then. And you'll be saying, oh, Manchester United have lost this one. 88th minute, they're still trailing 1-0. Before 91 minutes, it's 2-1 Manchester United. They got the 3 points, and that's what really matters. So you guys should give him credit.
No, there's a difference between the
comparison is even.
I'm not trying to compare. I'm not trying to compare. Really, I'm not trying to make any comparison with Ferguson. Ferguson is a different class of his own. But what I'm just saying is, we should be able to give credit to the strength that Ole has to be able to. You're trailing. You read the game. But make that substitution, 1 or 2 players, and you come from behind to nick the 3 points on an away ground. Come on.
Well, give him credit to him, though. I'll give him credit for that because he's coming to come and take the 3 points, which is key. That's the most important thing.
It is okay. We give him the credit. But can he continue like this? Is it
That's the question.
Is it a trend he can continue like
if you are going to
we said something about Klopp at the beginning of the season. They found him out. This is something everybody is seeing. We're all seeing it. Do you think another team will wait for? This is a game plan he's working with. People are fine. They'll find this game plan out. Then it will not work. Then what does he want?
Hey guys, Samiat, Chimamaka, I'm going to hold you guys on this. You're saying it will not work forever. I've hold it.
No,
I'm with it. We'll continue.
Now.
I know I'm going to come and meet. I know I'm going to come to you guys.
I'm waiting for you there. You are going to get there. I'm trying to analyze.
It will not work forever.
I would like
no problem.
Okay. I'll leave Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's problem aside and talk more on other games that we have been played. I'll also talk about the Chelsea Leeds United.
Quickly. Let's just quickly. Yeah.
It was a 3-1 victory for Chelsea after they conceded in the 4th minute, which was actually a good one. And grounds were broken yesterday. Yeah. For the first time this season, Leeds United were outplayed with their pacey style of football.
Pace. Yeah.
Normally on their ground, they covered 11 kilometers on the whole pitch. But I was so amazed that Chelsea covered 16 kilometers on that pitch. So it was epic. It was wonderful to beat them at their own style of football. So I love that. It only means the team are getting in together and doing a good job well on all areas up front. You can see Giroud, who is coming to come and score.
I think this still falls back on a team having a particular pattern and other team watching them and finding them out. This is what happened with Leeds. Chelsea outplayed them. This is what happened. This is what we are talking about. This is what happened. They will get caught. You can't go on forever. You have to have game plans.
I hold on to that against Samiat.
So I'll also continue with the Liverpool game. Liverpool versus Wolves. The Chelsea game was wonderful. I enjoyed every bit of it. The Liverpool game was not expected, actually. I'll be very frank with you. I didn't see Wolves coming to come and taking 4 goals yesterday. And I realized that there was a sloppy part of their play that happened in their defense, which brought about their own goal. And Wolves will need to up their game. I don't know what is going on. They've been struggling compared to what they played last season. But credit to Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool, despite the fact they have players who are just coming back from either COVID or injuries, these guys still have the hunger. we are still seeing the Liverpool that played last season. Tactically, they were sound. Their midfield was solid. It was surprising. It was surprising to see Wijnaldum score. Well, he has all the goals. In fact, he has scored 90% of the goals he has scored for Liverpool at Anfield. So it's a fortress for him, even scoring goals. So it was a good one seeing Mo Salah, the hunger, the team spirit, the vibe, the energy is so much there. So it will take a while for we to say Liverpool is going to phase out of the top four. It's not possible. Those guys are still
And
contenders.
Salah also equaled Ronaldo and Tevez goal record in fewer games too. Yeah.
So they're doing well. They're doing very well. Liverpool is a good team. It only takes a better organized team to beat a Liverpool team. That's what I have
with the injuries they have,
injuries.
like close to 9.
Despite the injuries, they were able to beat Leicester City, who is actually a tough opposition. They've been able to play Wolves again, who were also problematic last season. And what are we talking about? This team, if with or without their injured players, they've been able to come in and cover up for these guys. Yeah, that is what makes a big team actually. So we know what's going on. And,
with all due respect to Wolves as well, because they've not been performing check out their last few games. Apart from the game they played against Arsenal, the Arsenal made them look spectacular. Really, before the Arsenal game, I think they've drawn 2 games. They've not been that spectacular. So I knew that it wasn't going to be. They were not going to Anfield to pick a point or to even win there. I knew it was going to be a straight out victory, but I never knew it was going to be that much, 4-0. But it was a win is a win. A win is a win. So
a win is a win. The 3 points is what's key, and it was a good one actually. A good one.
And so
sorry. I'll just do a less than 30 seconds recap on that. Everton Burnley, we had a struggling Everton team yesterday. It only means that there's no team that
on Saturday.
It only means that you cannot just undermine anything. They had to come and draw that game. It only means everybody can be found out one way or the other. But it was a great game. It was a good one actually to get a point from that match.
And Arsenal is playing Burnley in the next game. So let's just move straight to. We said we're going to discuss Arsenal.
Yeah.
We just the next 15 minutes or the next 12 to 15 minutes to round off this episode of the podcast, because really it's unbecoming. The last time Arsenal had this kind of poor form was 1981, and it's so sad. Even under Unai Emery, that things went south, things didn't go well. Unai Emery never had this type of run. But I didn't want to see it as if we're comparing coaches. But let us look at Arsenal, the way Arsenal is. We saw the performance yesterday. They played well, according to their manager Arteta. For me, they said they played well. They did what he wanted them to do. And he said yesterday in the press conference after the match that he's going to keep on fighting. He's going to continue to fight till he finds a solution. And it looks, because we were thinking this morning we're going to hear something like Arteta has been sacked. No statement from the management of Arsenal. No statement from the club directors. Nothing. We didn't hear anything this morning. So we're permitted to say, current time T, we're airing this episode of the podcast, that Arteta is still the manager of Arsenal. And he's not pressured. And it doesn't look as if he's going to lose his job currently at the moment. He's still going to take the team out on Thursday against whoever they're playing in the Europa League, their final game of the group game, though they have 15 points there. It's so surprising that the number of points they have in Europa is more than the number of points they have in the EPL. Crazy. But that's how life is. So guys, I want us to look at Arsenal critically. I'm an Arsenal fan. There's no need to hide that. I said that I wanted to bring an Arsenal fan on the podcast today, but unluckily for us, he can't join us because he said he's stuck in traffic. Lagos and traffic, they go hand in hand. But I think we on the podcast, we can still, because I like the way we analyze football, regardless of where our heart is drawn to. We say things the way it's supposed to be said, and that is one thing we do well in FootyWit podcast. despite the club that we support, we're not fanatics to the extent that we don't say the right things, or we don't criticize, or we don't analyze football the way football is supposed to be analyzed. So looking at Arteta's performance, the last 7 games or the last 6 games, Samuel.
It has been a rough run for Arsenal. If you are looking at this Arsenal team, they have Nicolas Pepe, they have Aubameyang, they have Lacazette, they have the party they have been striving and looking for. But I think with Arteta, what I would say with Arteta is the balance. He hasn't gotten it just yet. That balance. Arteta is a very brilliant coach. I'll give it that. He's a very brilliant coach, but it's the balance. But something that is prominent with this Arsenal team is also team organization. They don't have that. I think we have said this before. They don't have that leadership spirit. They don't have that that team lead that carries them along in the during games, in games. They don't have that in them. It's not
leadership.
It's like
yeah,
everything is just the associated during the game. There's no compact team spirit during the game, and there's that too, and that goes a long way too. And with Arteta and whether he should lose his job and all of that, I think I don't know, maybe the Arsenal management, I don't know what will happen next week or if they are considering any of that. But the Arsenal management,
if he loses against Burnley.
Yeah, maybe we just don't know yet, but I think they should just still give him time. They are I understand the fans' grievance. I mean, they are 15th on the table. They are just this close to. They are no, it's terrible. I understand the grievance of the fans. I saw some Arsenal fan videos today. It was not pretty at all, and I just think the patience. Let's just see what happens against Burnley. But that team, they don't have that impact team. They're not together.
The cohesion.
Yeah, they don't have it. They are just all over the place. They don't have that team spirit in me. And I think it would take Arteta to just man up, and apart from him being a brilliant coach, he has to be a coach to the players. I don't know what goes on behind the scene, but I can see that everybody's a big boy in Arsenal team. Pepe is there, he's playing Cristiano Ronaldo football, like I said. Aubameyang, since he signed his contract, is just another thing. So they're lacking that glue. They're lacking that glue, and they just really need to get it right, and soon, because we banter Arsenal here and there, but we don't want that. I don't want Arsenal to go to relegation. I mean, the banter will be nice, but still. No, it wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't make any sense like that. They need to just get it right soon. And the way we are looking at it, let me just wait and see what happens with the Burnley game, because it's like a do or die for them. Let's just see what happens. But this Arsenal team, they don't have any organization. Even during was it Kane's goal or some? I think it was Kane's goal.
The second goal.
The meeting was just open. Thomas Partey was walking up it was just. No, they were just everywhere. No. They need to find that glue that's going to hold that team, and a firm leadership, a very, very firm leadership on the pitch. They need to find, and soon. Because
Chimamaka, added to what Samuel said, would you want to say it's just it's just a period of a bad form, a bad patch that Arsenal is going through? Maybe sooner or later, like Samuel said, let's wait for Burnley. If they're able to pick up the 3 points against Burnley, after Burnley, they have Southampton, they have Everton, and they have Chelsea. So if they go through Southampton, go through Everton, and they go through Chelsea, who knows? Everything is back and rosy.
If Chelsea should beat them, then
I just want to. Yeah, could it be a bad patch?
It's not okay. Now, I would answer because there are so many areas at which I would like to actually touch. Now, since the commencement of or since the start of the Premier League this season, I can categorically tell you that Arsenal, as it stands presently, on goals, they have 10 goals. this season after 11 games. On that record of 20 teams, they are number 17 in that category. That is bad for us now. That's one. Secondly, they have
scored 10 and considered 14. Yeah.
Now, shots on target. They have 32 shots on target in 11 games, which is a bad record for us now. On teams 1 to 20, they are number 18 in that in that position. Now, on chances created, this is where I would start my talk from. On chances created, Arsenal, that we all know, have only created 65 chances in 11 games. That is number 20 on the table. It means they are last with chances created. Now, I will start from there. If you watched Arsenal in the past, you know exactly what these guys can do. In a game, in just one game, they are able to create 16 goal scoring chances. One game. Now, if they do it in their best, in the best Arsenal game I have seen, they have done 22. I'm not going to talk about 22. I'll bring it way down to, let's say, 15, not even 16. Now, if they can create 15 goal scoring chances in a game, in 10 games, what are we talking about? That's 250. 150, I mean. I don't know if you're getting, but Arsenal in 11 games have done just 65. Now, where is the problem? First, there's a disorganization in the entire Arsenal team, which needs to be addressed. They have a manager who is very sound, but very sound tactically.
But sorry, this disorganization wasn't there when Arteta took over in November last year, with the run of form after the pandemic, going ahead to win the FA Cup, and also going ahead to win the Charity Shield or Community Shield, whatever the name is called.
That's why I started from where I started, so that I'll give you this analysis. Now, because talking about Arsenal, it's a big deal for me. Now, I was talking about Arteta. Arteta is a manager who is very tactically sound. Mark my words, hold me there. Very tactically sound. The question you would ask now is, what is his man management skill? Exactly. If you're trying to bring if you're trying to bring an organization to a team that you know you want to take charge of, you take charge without having yeses from other people. That is my own take. Now, I'm talking about chances created. We know that the best player in Arsenal in the past 5 years.
Let's forget about that. Oh, jeez, don't go there.
I'll get there.
I know why he was going to with all the stats he was bringing up.
In the last 5 years, aside from Aubameyang, you're an Arsenal fan. Quote me if I'm wrong. Has been Mesut Ozil. Forget whatever kind of thing he has done in the World Cup. Forget, he has been Arsenal's best player. Forget about any player you want to mention for me. Now, I won't go into that because first, we realize that Arsenal's problem on pitch, is leadership. They lack that in abundance. Secondly, they are all playing individual football.
Yeah, just to point out to what Sammy had said. Yeah, just to point out to what Sammy.
Talking about, they are playing what he's supposed to play, what he asked them to play. But how long? That's the question. These are guys who you are teaching. Yes, we all know that we will not get his philosophy at once, but we expect that even if you are bringing in philosophies, the players would have their own impetus to make it to make it fruitful. I want you to understand that. But instead, at some point, I saw the game yesterday and I was pissed. Why was I pissed? We realized that Thomas Partey, who struggled before the game with injury, we all know he struggled before the game. You brought him back into that game, and at some point he could not cope any longer. He was
I think he pulled a hamstring yesterday. He put a hamstring yesterday. He just recovered. Though there's no official report. There's no official report on what happened to him yesterday yet. Either
a knock or an hamstring. It's an injury. And let's not forget, Partey is coming from Spanish La Liga, wherein they have breaks in abundance. They can tell you they go on Christmas break till first or second week in in the month of January. In the EPL, it's not like that. Nobody has your time. We are going to play it bumper to bumper. Now, we saw that happen yesterday. He was trying to come out of the pitch, and eventually, I was telling him to run, to go and do what? To go and do what? Now, he's talking about a disorganization in that team. If a player, now, there are so many things to talk about. We are talking about a game wherein we are playing 11 players. If there was if Arsenal had a short one in that game, what would have happened? Now you have 11 players. You cannot organize that team. Arsenal has so much to do. Attack-wise, I'm going to break that to you. Attack-wise, do you know, as an Arsenal fan, that Aubameyang in that game yesterday had just 21 touches on the football?
Seriously, I was dumbfounded as well. I was dumbfounded. For me, this leads me. Okay. Yeah, sorry to cut you. So this leads me to, I wanted to talk about this, because when Arteta came in, he took over. Everybody seems to fall into what he wants. The likes of Mustafi featured, the likes of Papas, the Greek guy. His name is too long for me to pronounce. Yeah. He featured. Ozil started the first 10 games, EPL games, for Arteta. So all of a sudden, now after the pandemic, we saw the whole changes. We saw all what happened. Then the next thing, all of a sudden, this guy gets frozen out of the team. Fast forward into the season, your 25-man squad, Ozil is not there. The Greek guy is not there. Even Mustafi is there, but hasn't featured. And, you brought in some players. Guendouzi, we know what happened. You froze him out till the end of the season because of what happened at the Amex Stadium between him and Mope in the match against Brighton, Hove and Albion that they lost. And all of those things, just started creeping up. Things happen behind the scenes. Is it that Arteta has failed to manage all this thing? Because football, like they say, goes beyond what happens in the field of play. Management, everything, it's critical when it comes to, harnessing, managing a team. Chimamaka mentioned he's a brilliant coach. Is it that Arteta is punching or pulling over his weight? Because he was a good number two. He was a good number two to Guardiola. Now, you're now the main guy. Is it that Arteta is pulling over his weight? Because if you don't have that management skill, I don't know. Because now, with everything that is going, Willian coming in, all of a sudden, I'm going to let you guys talk. Willian coming in, all of a sudden, Willian starting in the first 11. Maitland-Niles, I gave a good performance. After the pandemic, through your FA Cup run, all of a sudden, you froze him out. He's not part of the team. Things like that, issues here and there. Possibly, we had last week, Tuesday, there was a meeting, behind closed door meeting. And the Arsenal players pointing accusing fingers at each other, blaming each other. It was really, really hot. Now we see it is beginning to affect the harmony. Like you mentioned, there is no cohesiveness within the team. There is no oneness. Is it that Arteta is pulling or punching over his weight?
According to what you have said now, when he came in, he had control of the team. He had everything. Everything was working fine for him. We picked up 2 trophies, and we all saw that it was beautiful. Now, Ozil issue happened. They shut him out. Guendouzi, he was shut out. The Greek guy was shut out. Mustafi was shut out. So yes. So what Ozil is trying to portray is, if you don't walk my way, I'm going to shut you out. And that is going to kill spirits. It's going to kill the morale of the team. Like, okay, now if I don't get it right, now if I do something wrong now, then there's no proper discipline. It's just you are pushing everybody aside. You are pushing there should be like a guideline discipline. The Guendouzi issue, I don't think it was that terrible. Like, you shut Guendouzi out just like that. It wasn't that terrible. It didn't deserve that that amount of punishment.
Out. Yeah.
It was too much. So clearly now we can all say that, okay, Arteta is a properly tactically minded coach. He's very good at that. But he's managing
management.
it is poor. It is poor, and now we can clearly see it now. It is reflecting on their team performance. We can clearly see that has affected their team spirit and the morale. We can see we can see it. There's no organization anywhere, no firm leadership. And he came in, he gave the captain band to Aubameyang. I don't know if there was an election.
Aubameyang was the captain before he came in. That was after that issue with Xhaka. Yeah, after that issue with Xhaka happened.
Yeah, that was something that was still pending. And Aubameyang himself, I'm not seeing any form of leadership. He does not have that, and they are not even getting that from the coach. So where is the glue going to come from? Where is the firmness going to come from? How is this Arsenal team going to get them? So it's just issues that are piling up, and it's just we are seeing it already in team performance. We are seeing it on the team. There's no proper communication. Everybody's just there doing their own thing, and at the end of the day, Arteta will say that was my game plan. We are seeing the game plan. It's reflecting. They are 15th on the table, and this has to be sorted. This has to be sorted ASAP.
There's too much to talk about. I totally agree with you, Samia, because tactically, Arteta is sound. Man management is poor. You talked about Guendouzi. We know what happened. You talked about Papadopoulos. You talked about Mustafi. You talked about how many players? Maitland-Niles. I remember at the victory and the FA Cup finals
against Man City and Chelsea, most especially.
I remember those games. Now, Maitland-Niles wasn't supposed to have been given a contract extension. It was because of those performances that Arsenal had to give him an extended contract. And I'm surprised after we no longer seen him. If he's injured, let us know he's injured. These are guys, yes. Look at I don't tend to understand what is actually going on behind the scenes at Arsenal. But I don't want to believe that Arteta is the mastermind of letting out all these players. I don't want to believe that, because if he is the one doing it, then he has lost his cool. He's lost it all out. He's lost it to everybody. Nobody would agree with him. They will just tell you.
The danger is if he loses the dressing room, that is final.
It's a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect with Ozil, with Guendouzi. It's a ripple effect, and it's going to show. This is humans you are dealing with. It will reflect. They are seeing the way you are taking care of others, so they know they are expecting that kind of thing anytime soon. They misbehave. There's no firm punishment. It's a ripple effect.
If he's going to be doing this, if he is the one in charge and taking these decisions, I don't expect you to take it all out on 3, 4, 5, 6 players. That's bad. I'll take you back to Tottenham. Do you know that before Jose Mourinho joined Tottenham, Dele Alli disagreed that Mourinho should join Tottenham Hotspur because he had a personal vendetta with Mourinho? I don't know if you understand.
That was in past seasons.
Mourinho came in, Dele Alli started playing football. Dele Alli started scoring goals. But at the long run, it was just on the pitch. When Tottenham did their documentary of the coach and players, the coach-player documentary, and
on Amazon.
We are asked to air their views towards Mourinho. Mourinho told Dele Alli blatantly, because Dele Alli was able to speak his mind. Dele Alli and Danny Rose were able to speak their mind. Do you hear those guys in that team? No, but that's just 2 players. But are you aware that Ventogen is not a Mourinho fan? But that one, he just had to run out his contract. I don't know if you understand. Which gave Mourinho room to do what he's doing. Now, is Mourinho missing Dele Alli? I need an answer.
No, he's not.
He's not. I don't know if you understand. He has taken his own with 1, 2 players only and decided to work with the ones who are committed. Now, the problem in Arsenal is you have let out more than 7 players. If you are doing it for 1 person, 2 people, any right-thinking player will tell you, okay, maybe this guy is at fault here. Maybe Mourinho did this way, did this way, and there will be a balance. But now you are doing it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Has become a pattern.
Are you joking?
Well, I
So
feel Arteta. I feel
cheating.
Arteta too. I feel Arteta too is shooting himself in the leg, because you've most press conferences that you've heard, you've said it, that the players you have are not good enough to implement what you want on the field of play, and also your philosophy. And meanwhile, you bring in a Willian, a 32-year-old, you bring him from Chelsea, put him, I don't know, whatever they were thinking, they put him on that amount of wage to be earning close to 200, if I'm not mistaken, 250.
220 outside. No, 220.
250, and you have a Maitland-Niles that worked his socks out for you while you came in, few months after you came in. Do you understand? You have who? Who else? I didn't see the need for bringing back Ceballos, really, from Real Madrid. I didn't see any need for bringing him back because I don't see the impact that he's making. You had a Torreira that you could use, but you said he wasn't the type of player that you wanted to use. You loaned him out. Guendouzi, yes, this thing happened. This thing happens. We've seen Vieira done worse in games against Manchester United, in the London derby against Chelsea. We've seen him go confrontational, hitting, getting red carded in the match, but Wenger still stuck by him. You had a Guendouzi, who I felt was the only guy that had cojones in that Arsenal's midfield. You see him on the pitch of play. He does it. He shows it. You asked him out of the team. So, all this thing playing out, like I said, probably he's shooting himself in the leg. But the question now is, what's the way forward? Arteta keeps saying the kind of players he has, they are not the kind of players that can implement his philosophy. Now we have close to 6 or 7, if I'm not mistaken, Ozil, Lewis, Papadopoulos, Mustafi, all of them, their contracts, 6 months to go down the line. What's the way forward? Should there be a massive clearout for Arsenal so that the management, that's if, emphasis on the if management, helps him financially to bring in the kind of players they want?
I think Arteta coming out publicly to say that the players he has does not work with his philosophy, I think it's just wrong. Look at Mourinho. Look at what he's doing with Harry Kane. Harry Kane is going back to defend. The Harry Kane that we know, is playing defense. He's going back to defend. He's playing for the team. It just still all boils down to the fact that Arteta does not have control of that team, managing that team properly. Maybe he has the tactical mindset and all of that, but he does not have control of managing that team. And I think for Arsenal, what will work going forward, I will just wait. I won't want to conclude. Just wait to see the next couple of games and see what the management does, whether it's going to go. But Arteta does not have a firm management handling of players. It does not have that in the bag, and it is destroying the team. It is tearing them apart. Going forward now, I don't know, because the Arsenal management, we don't know if they are going to back him to get this dream team that he's getting, or whether they will be even patient enough. The result is counting. We can all see where Arsenal is on the table now. Are they going to be patient enough? That's just another question, because it's taking too long, and the effect now is just becoming drastical. I don't know the way it's going now. Arteta does not have a firm control of that team, and at the end, I don't want to say it, but I think it might have to go. It might still have to go, but I don't know. Maybe they are trying to be patient with him and see if things will turn around. I hope things turn around too, but right now, I don't see a way forward. Clearing out, how many players do you want to clear out? Ozil and the likes, their contract are going to run out. Most of them, their contract are going to run out. They're going to make their money and go elsewhere. Then do they have the money to bring in more players? You have a Pepe of almost 72 million. You just got Partey for 45 million. There's, like I said, there's all those money they have spent. Even Arsenal, that we know that they don't spend. They are bringing in all this money, they are spending all this big bag, you have all these qualities, and you are not implementing, you are not making them do the work that you want. You want new players, new setup. Look at what more is making do. At least spending the time that this management bring in the bags and all of that. You make do of what you have. Have a firm control of the team. Control the team, the players, have a firm control. But all of that is lacking. And I don't know how long the management are going to be patient. I don't know how long. Let's just wait and see how it plays out. That's what I would just say on that.
I'll add to what Samuel has said, but I'm going to use, instead of Mourinho, I'm going to use Frank Lampard, for instance. Frank Lampard played with Chelsea squad last season, and they let just 2 players go. They let just 2 players go, which were Willian and Pedro. Now, this season, they brought in additional players.
6.
Yes, 6, just to beef up the squad. Let's understand that. Of the 6 they brought in, 6 players which Chelsea brought in, 2 we are loaned out. We have just 4 left, which means we let 2 players out and brought in 4 to stay in the first team. And let's not forget, they loaned out 2 extra players in Ross Barkley, who was actually performing last season, and Loftus-Cheek, who was injured. But let's be frank with each other. These players are still there. The players who played last season are still there. Chelsea offered Willian a contract extension, but he turned it down, which means Lampard chose to work with him. It is not until you have an overhaul of players. The question you would ask us now is, do they have such kind of funds to do an overhaul on players? Are they ready to spend that money with what transfer market is talking about now? We got Partey, you got Partey for 45 million. Is Arsenal ready to? Let's not forget that Arsenal did a frollo on salaries, on staffs. I hope you know that happened. Now, did you say Arsenal who's going to start doling out 50 million, 70 million, 90 million to bring in players? Now, you should make with what you have there. That's what I'm trying to say. You make with what you have there. Look at, you should bring about a balance. You are the person in charge. Let's also not forget that no matter what happens in a football team, the person who takes the boot for it is the manager. So I believe he should be protecting his job by doing whatever is going to cost to make the team perform.
Grinding the results.
All he should do. If he has to bring back Papasadopoulos, he should bring him back. If he has to bring it back in Anozil, just to make sure the results are coming in. For the time being, I'm not saying that he should stay for a long period, but for the time being, to bring in the result, he should do that, because at the end, the funny thing is the players will remain. The players will remain. The manager will get sacked. You cannot sack players. Let's not forget that. You only allow their contracts to run out. Except
there's a Pochettino locking around.
For crying out loud, yes, Allegri, who they are even looking into again. So there are people who are there, actually, who are even way experienced than Arteta, who take the job. So there are player coaches. You cannot rule all these guys out. So now with us now, the way going forward presently, I would give them time to the end, to the January transfer windows. The January transfer windows. I would give them time to them, because I want to believe that Arsenal want to give Arteta time till that period to bring in the so-called players that he wants. Then after then, we'll see where they are going to lead. They're going to go to. Let's not forget that in December
do they have the purchasing power? Do they have the purchasing power?
It's why I said let's wait till that time. Now, let's not forget that we still have 4 EPL matches to be played in December. And if you cannot nick at least 2 wins of the 4 in December, I'm sorry, Arteta will not see January transfer. That's the truth. Because now they are 15 on the table.
Who are they playing? Who are they playing? The 4 matches. Who are they playing?
I'm playing Burnley, Southampton, Everton, and Chelsea.
So now look at those games. First of all, Burnley will give them a tussle. If they cannot nick a win in that game, Burnley tries to take a draw from them. And if Care not taking, Burnley will win that game in the first half. Now, that is 4 matches. Are they ready? The positions as stands on the table presently, between 15th and 18th position is about 4 points. Now, let's look at it. In 4 games, if Arteta should win 4, it is a plus. But let's look at it the other way. If he now wins 4, what happens? He would not see January transfer. That's the truth. So going forward, if he has to bring in these players back and he has to plead with them to please grind out results for me, he should do that.
To do that, he will
he's-
have to wait till January.
no, with what he
Or
has now, he has to make what he has now. Because as it is, I saw William play.
I think most of them have been
No,
punished.
that's what I'm saying. For
They
him
have
to
been punished enough.
no, for him to even draft them back into the 25-man squad of the Premiership, he has to wait because the opening another opening will come up in January. Yeah, so he has to wait till January.
He has to make do. Now we are seeing Lacazette. Yes, in Europe, Arsenal is doing. Praise God for that. But in the local league, in the EPL, I was talking about Aubameyang. You guys did not see anything because he had 21 touches on the board for a striker who just signed a deal that is making him earn close to about 300,000 pounds per week. Since he signed that contract, it's been like he has been. They've sent cobweb to his face from the village that is making things go wrong for him. Lacazette is not it at all. In fact, the full attack line of Arsenal, if not
even yesterday in the London derby, Lacazette even had more bites than Aubameyang.
That's what I'm saying. So yes, the leadership is there. Arteta needs to to go and learn man management if he has to work with him. I've seen managers. I'm sorry, I'm taking back to Mourinho. I saw Mourinho coach Chelsea. Mourinho was sacked and players were crying. I want you to understand what that means. What that feels like. The same Mourinho went to Inter Milan, and the moment he won the Champions League, and he told them in the dressing room that he was leaving, 7 players were in tears. Do you know what it's like? These are guys who are ready to die for you. I could remember in an interview, Drogba, John Terry, and I think Michael Essien said they'll follow Mourinho to the end of the world to fight a war. That means so much. Mm-hmm. It's not happening. It's not happening. And let's not forget them. In a team in a typical Mourinho team, he doesn't build one. Hope you know he doesn't build one leader. He builds a leader on all facets of the pitch.
Yeah.
That should go and learn man management. It works a lot. So way forward now, we should go and learn management. You should go and learn not tactical management. You should go and learn leadership.
Leadership. Yeah. We've said a lot. Probably in our subsequent episode, we're still going to come and look at Mourinho. I said we're going to talk about it, but we're going to look at Mourinho's tactics, what he's doing in Tottenham right now, that is giving him that impetus, that is giving him that leverage to sit at the top of the EPL at the moment. But because of time, we don't want this podcast to be that long. I think we've said enough. We've said a lot and we've said enough. And I really enjoy doing this with you guys. To all our listeners, on viewers on our YouTube channel, and also listeners on other platforms, the Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor. This is the FootyWit Podcast, the EPL Game Week 11 review. And my name is Ahis Anthony, and I'm joined with my regular co-host and Samiat and Chimamaka. Please follow us on our social media platform, our Instagram handle at FootyWit, and also please subscribe to our YouTube channels. We need subscribers. Please, once you see this video, like, and also please subscribe. You can see our Twitter accounts. You can also follow us on our social media. I'm at Ahis at HEYHWES, and for Samiat, tell them your social media handle at ZHAMYHAT. ZHAMYHAT. And for Chimamaka, it's not that showing because it's too long. His name is too long.
I am Chinwell.
I am Chinwell.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm on Instagram at Zamiat, ZHAAMYHAT.
Yep.
Same thing on me. Instagram too. Same I am Chinwell. So
so guys, follow us. Please like our content on Instagram. We'll create a lot of football content. Just go to our Instagram account. You see a whole lot of posts there. Please like. And also YouTube is quite important. Please subscribe. There are new episodes, new segments in the podcast that will be coming up starting next year. We hope by God's grace we have everything put in place to kickstart this episode. And we're here for you guys to talk football. Like, our hashtag is we love football. So from me to my other guys, to everybody out there, I say thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Have a blessed week ahead.